We got a very interesting new poll here from Abacus Data. Apparently they collaborated on this with the Toronto Star, which is kind of interesting. And David Coletto, who is the CEO of Abacus Data, says, new Abacus Data polling for the Toronto Star finds Pierre Poilievre performs better than any other potential Conservative leader, including Doug Ford, in a head-to-head against Mark Carney. Now, if you are subscribed to the Toronto Star, you can go read the article, but I am not, so it won't let me read it. But Polling Canada did post the numbers. So Tim Houston versus Mark Carney, Liberals win 37-27. Garner, the Liberals win 39-28. Jamil Javani, the Liberals win 37-24. Lanceman, the Liberals win 40-23. Mulroney, the Liberals win 36-27. And then we go to Kenney, Liberals win 38-30. Carolyn Mulroney would lose by 7 points to the Liberals. Stephen Harper right now would lose 5 points to the Liberal. Doug Ford would lose by 3 points. And Pierre Poilievre right now is up 38-36% against Mark Carney. So Pierre Poilievre right now is the only guy that's currently ahead of Pierre Poilievre, or of Mark Carney. Now, again, Abacus, and I think Angus Reid came out with one a couple weeks ago. They're saying that the Conservatives are slightly ahead, and yes, it is within the margin of error. However, the fact that all these people are coming out and saying, oh, this guy should replace Pierre, and Pierre needs to go, and we need this person. Some people even want Doug Ford. Well, the numbers show that those guys are not nearly as popular as Doug Ford. There are some numbers that surprise me a little bit. Javani, he's amongst us, right? People who are following the Conservative Party or voting for the Conservative Party, especially in Ontario, you're going to know who Jamil Javani is. However, he's also a relatively new MP. So even though 24% sounds really low, he's not very popular, but he's also new. And as he, continues to work and likely thrive with the Conservative Party, that number is likely to go up. And if he were to be the leader of the Conservative Party, that number would go up because now he'd get more recognition. Lanceman, only 23%. Again, kind of same thing. People don't really know who she is. But if she was put in front of the camera, hey, here's the new leader, I think those numbers would go up a little bit. But not more than Pierre Poilievre's. A lot of people think maybe Larry Brock or Michael Barrett would be a good option. Okay, well, the problem is I don't believe either of those gentlemen speak French. Why is that a big deal? Well, because the Conservatives, even though they come in third place a lot in Quebec, they still have 10 seats. And if you have a leader that does not speak French and only speaks English, they're going to lose all 10 of those ridings. That's why every leader speaks French, because they don't want to alienate themselves from Quebec. And that would happen if you had a leader who doesn't speak French, whether you like it or not. So you have 10 seats, we can make that at where? Where are you going to make up another 10 seats? Now, if Carney's support completely falls apart, sure. But he's still, the next time we go into an election, Mark Carney is still likely to be more popular than Justin Trudeau was. This is going to be a much tougher fight. But in this tough fight, Pierre Poilievre is the only leader or potential leader who can beat Mark Carney right now. And again, this is just after Mark Carney's honeymoon phase. It hasn't even been a full year yet since Mark Carney's been Prime Minister, but people are going to start to turn on him. This number's only going to go up. The more debt we get into, the more mass immigration we continue to see, yada, 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 all these problems that I've been very repetitive about on this channel continue to get worse. Pierre Poilievre is going to separate himself even further. The reason the mainstream media and even some so-called conservatives and liberals are saying that Pierre Poilievre's support is tanking is because they are terrified of him. Because he knows, just like they know, that it took an awful lot to keep him from being Prime Minister, and you can't expect that to happen every election. The NDP is not going to crash out every time. They will gain some support back, and most of it will come from the Liberals, especially if Heather McPherson, a female, becomes the leader of the NDP party. There will be females who will not vote for a rich old white man over another woman. They won't do it. They will vote for the woman, just because it's a woman. I'm not saying all women are like that, but there is an element, whether it's 6-7% or whatever it is, will flock to the NDP. That hurts Carney a lot more than it hurts Pierre Poilievre. You're also not going to have the Trump fear-mongering. He will eventually be out of office. Now, I think there's going to be another election in Canada before America. But again, eventually people wake up. You scared a lot of people during COVID. Well, a lot of those people now realize, hey, not everything they said were true, and they were wrong about almost everything. But when they were scared, they believed it because they were scared. And when you're scared, the part of your brain that allows you to think critically is disabled. So right now, people are scared, and they're still going to support Carney, although it is very close, within the margin of error. Some polls are showing the opposite, where with the Liberals slightly ahead. But this says a lot about Pierre Poilievre. A lot of people like him, especially the young people who are moving towards the conservative movement, because he resonates with them. He talks to them. He listens to them. He doesn't give these robotic answers. He's got a good personality. Like the young people growing up, and again, just wait till the COVID kids grow up. His support is going to likely spike even more. The Liberals know this, and they're trying to do everything they can to make him look like he's a weak leader. Oh, Chris D'Entremont, he left. Oh, it's because of Pierre. It's one guy. And the Liberals call that a revolt. Why? Not because it's true. It's because they want people to think that Pierre is not popular. They want people to start thinking about removing him as leader, which could happen theoretically in January if he loses the leadership race. But I don't think he will. And this poll shows why, because there's no one else who can take on Mark Carney. And considering, again, that we are just barely outside of the honeymoon phase and Pierre is right there with him still, and the media and the Liberals are freaking out trying to convince people that his popularity is tanking because they know it's not. They're trying to scare you into getting rid of Pierre Poilievre and thinking that someone else can beat Carney when no one else can. So just remember that. All these people telling you that Pierre Poilievre's support is crumbling and, oh, he's on his way out, his days are numbered, they say. It's very unlikely he loses his leadership race. There's no revolt happening in the Conservative Party, but the Liberals know that they need to distract people from their awful budget. They need to distract people that Carney is actually worse than Justin Trudeau. They don't want people thinking that yet. Well, they don't want people thinking that ever, but eventually there's not going to be anything they can do about it. But all they're trying to do right now is get rid of Pierre Poilievre so that what he's created, the growth that we've seen in the Conservative Party, especially amongst the youth, would be destroyed. They're not going to flock to Doug Ford. Stephen Harper, they're not going to flock to him. Jason Kenney. Giovanni maybe. But Tim Houston, no, he's a liberal. Doug Ford's a liberal. A lot of these people on this list are actually liberals. And the young people know it. People my age know it. Conservative boomers know it. We all know that a lot of these so-called conservatives aren't really conservative. And if they were the leader of the Conservative Party, like Doug Ford would get some support in Ontario, but he's not going to get more support than Mark Carney, his buddy. And people from Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba don't like Doug Ford because they're, actually conservative. Pierre Poilievre's the right man for the job. Whether people want to tell you or disagree with that or not, they can do that, but they're wrong. Pierre's the man. He's the only one the Conservatives have that could beat Mark Carney. End of story.